And we are live.
Good timing.
All right. Hey, what's up, hockey fans? And welcome to episode number 55 of Marty's Illegal Stick, recorded here on December 15th, 2021. Oh, there we go. Sorry, we're still on. Yeah, a little technical difficulties, that's all. All right, December 15th, 2021. Live TV, you got to love it. Anyways. We're recording here, and I got some great news before we get going. We've got a very fun show lined up for you. But before we get going, our man, Dave the Save, is home.
Let's go.
Yeah, he got out of the hospital yesterday. They brought him home. He's still got a long road to go. He's got a lot. He's not going to be able to do what he normally does. So hopefully he'll be back on the show, at some point. But just want everybody to know that we got one hell of an early Christmas present here at Marty's Illegal Stick with Dave the Save making it back home. Wonderful news. So anyways, we have got one great show lined up for you. This is going to be so much fun. I've been looking forward to this for a while. And before I bring our guest in, who, by the way, is a returning guest, I want to bring in our panel. So it looks like I'm going to bring in at first, coming to us live via satellite, looks like from his lair today. It's an interesting setup. You can definitely tell he's a Michigan fan.
I don't know which one he's talking about, Dom.
He is I'll say it right now. He is the professor, Jeremy Roberts.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Just another day. Just another day living the dream.
Yeah, how's your leg feeling?
Pretty good. Thanks to another player in our lovely league.
Yeah,
that I highly recommend for any of the listeners that do play in our men's league. Don't step in front of the biggest guy in the league. So,
ouch.
Yeah, decided to block a shot, and I'll send you the pick later. I'll send you the pick after.
Could you please? I'd love to see it. It was like when Burns got sliced open in the coast. I had to see it.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, but you know what, Jerry? It was great because of your sacrifice, at least somewhat, we won.
We did. Yeah, we did. I don't know where that. I have no idea where that shot was going. But I'd like to say that it was headed towards the net, maybe.
Well,
I mean, as long as it wasn't going towards anybody's jaw, we're good.
Yeah, well, we've already been down that road with our team, and we won't get into that tonight. But, but yeah, consider yourself lucky. Let's just put it that way. Our other co-host, who looks like he's in his lair too. You're right, Jeremy. I had to clarify that. But he's his successful campaign to get $3 beer nights has now morphed, it looks like, into $1 beer nights at the Adirondack Bank Center. It's the Macho Dom Real.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Scott, thanks for the lovely introduction as always. I am fired up. This is going to be a fun one. I just got done listening to the most recent episode of our guest podcast, and I appreciate someone else that likes to get fired up. So this is beautiful.
Absolutely. And our guest for today, he's a returning guest. Like I said, we had so much fun the first time he was on the show. We had to have him back, and we got so much to unwrap. So I'm just going to bring him in. He is the host of the Devil's State of Mind podcast on the Hockey Podcast Network. He is the one, he is the only, Mr. Neil Villapiano. What's up, Neil?
What's going on, gentlemen? How are we doing? I'm absolutely pumped to be back on talking with you guys.
Oh, man, we couldn't wait for this. This is, I had that circled on the calendar. I'm like, yeah, Neil's coming back. And when you were first on, yeah.
I was laughing before, Scott, because we were trying to figure out what day worked, for me to come on, and you kept flipping back and forth because you were like, oh, wait, there's a Devils game this day. Oh, wait, there's a Devils game that day. Like, I always tell people, never schedule me in the middle of a Devils game because I'm going to just drop so many obscenities, especially with the way the team's been playing of late. It's just, after last night's game, I don't know how I feel anymore. I really don't know how I'm feeling. No, I'm just pumped. I'm just pumped to be back talking with you guys.
Yeah, because it was preseason last time you were on. I think it was the last week of September.
Correct.
And we were talking about everybody was thinking rosy outlooks for their teams, like they always do in preseason, because you haven't lost yet. Right?
Oh yeah.
So why not? But now that we're hurtling through a quarter of the way of the season now, what's your thoughts on the Devils season thus far? And feel free to speak. You can say anything you want. We're free here.
I would say that this is the most Jekyll and Hyde team I've ever watched play hockey. I mean, there's been moments where the team looks like, okay, they're going to make a run here. They're going to get on a hot streak and really play well. And then they go into these funks like they're in right now where they look like they'll never score another goal ever. And it's bad when the only goal we scored last night was from PK Subban. That is a major problem. It's a major problem. So it's just it's not good. Right now on Devil's Twitter, which Scott, I'm sure you've seen plenty of, especially when I'm tweeting. It's not good right now. We're not doing very well. The biggest problem is that we feel, and I don't know how many people would agree, but I just feel that this team that we have in front of us is too talented to be playing this poorly. That we are really struggling with being consistent offensively. We make a lot of very bad mistakes, particularly on the power play. We've scored 9 power play goals and given up 7 shorthanded goals. That is how bad our power play is. We are now, at the time of this recording, the worst power play team in the NHL, worse than Buffalo and worse than the Arizona Coyotes. That is how bad we are. The penalty kill is better, but still not where it needs to be. We can't seem to stay healthy with the goaltending position other than Blackwood, which, knock on wood, I really hope that we cannot afford for Blackwood to go down for any significant amount of time. And now we have a small COVID outbreak. Now, granted, most of the other teams are dealing with it as well. It's not just us. But we were one of 3 teams last year that was off for 2 weeks because of an outbreak. We did not play hockey for 16 days. And if we go out and we lose time again, it's going to affect the rest of the season. And so at the end of the day, this is a moment where I think there has to be a coaching change. I think that Lindy Ruff's system just does not work for this team. I think that the game in some degree has passed him by. And I also think that Mark Recchi is one of the worst coaches in hockey I have ever seen. I have no idea how he gets paid money to be the head of the offense when our power play is so unbelievably bad. It's getting historically bad. I mean, we've scored 3 power play goals in our last 70 attempts. I don't know how you allow that to keep going. And now we play Vegas on Thursday, tomorrow. I have absolutely no confidence we are going to pull that game out. But, hockey's a magical, unpredictable sport. You never know what could happen. And the funny thing is that through all of this BS, we're only 6 points out of a playoff spot. Because the whole Eastern Conference, for some odd reason, is struggling. I don't understand that. We have maybe 3 or 4 good teams in the Eastern Conference. And then we have a team like the Islanders who cannot figure it out. I mean, there are teams that are worse than us. But when you look at the team that's on paper, the team that the Devils have, something has to change. Because if this is what we're going to continue to see, we're not going to get consistently good. We're just going to be incredibly inconsistent and continue to be Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, there's so much. You're right about that. And the thing with the Eastern Conference is too, and I'm sure Dom and Jeremy being Rangers fans, of course, they would know the Eastern Conference. There's teams that
are enjoying themselves very much.
Not lately.
I have no problem losing to Colorado.
No, I have no problem with that. Nothing.
If you lose to Colorado, you lose to Colorado.
Yeah.
If you lose
to
Philly, you're going to get a little upset.
And if you lose to the Coyotes, I mean,
yeah, I'm a little nervous going in tonight.
This game tonight for the Rangers seems like such a trap game. It seems like such a perfect trap game.
Big time.
But the thing about the Eastern Conference is you have teams that were supposed to be doing good. Like you mentioned, the Islanders. Boston has not been dominant like they were supposed to be.
Right.
But
they need Tuukka Rask.
Yeah, I mean, I
need Rask.
I'll tell you, it surprises me too with them. And just I don't want to get too sidebarred with them, but here they signed Linus Ullmark in the offseason to a 5-year contract, and he just kind of became an afterthought. And now they're praying that Tuukka Rask comes back. It's so strange. But, I mean, there's also teams in the Eastern Conference that are playing way above what expectations were. I think about the Detroit Red Wings.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they come out absolutely out of nowhere. And it's a very topsy-turvy world. But you mentioned Lindy Ruff, and I will say that, just as Comets fans up here in Utica, we're hoping that does not happen, because that would probably mean that we're going to lose Kevin Dineen after the job is done with the Comets.
I personally don't think that's going to be the case. I think Dineen was brought to Utica specifically to focus on developing the kids that you have in Utica. I don't think that he would be a guy that would come in and be your head coach right away. I think that if it was going to happen, it's going to happen next year. Like if Lindy Ruff were to get fired at some point this year, they just make somebody the interim, and then maybe next year they make Kevin Dineen the coach. I think it all depends on where the Utica Comets go by the time we get to the end of the season. Where do they end up? How do they? Because they're playing incredibly well right now, despite much adversity. Mm-hmm. And Kevin Dineen is getting more out of his players than I've seen any coach in quite some time. And it's absolutely. Really impressive what he's been able to do. Now, do I think that Dineen can be an NHL head coach? I don't know. Is he more of a development coach and not necessarily a guy that's going to take us to the next level? I don't really know.
We can see that right now, just having him be in Utica.
Right.
That's a good point. No, I mean that's a good
point. That. I mean, this is first season, so let's be fair. I mean, yeah, it works. It's working now, but what's going to happen next year? I mean, things could change.
Look at what the Penguins did with Mike Sullivan. Mike Sullivan was a coach for a long time in many different spots before he eventually became the head coach of the Penguins. Mm-hmm. He was ready to be the head coach by the time he got hired by the Penguins. And as a result, they won back-to-back Stanley Cups. That was the right move. Sure. Kevin Dineen, I think, just needs more time. He has a lot of experience coaching. He's a very successful coach. We've seen that. But I just think in this organization, with the players that we have, I think he just needs some time to continue to see where everything goes.
I agree. Yeah, what coach do you think that you would want to see, Neil?
Well, unfortunately, the two coaches that I would want to see were both taken last offseason, and that was Gerard Gallant, and I'm not surprised he's doing well with the Rangers. I'm not.
It's Gallant now.
Yeah, it's driving me nuts. I've heard that so many times. I'm going, okay.
You can't just change, bro. There's no way.
Did he change that himself? He said himself.
He specifically. Yeah.
He's screwing with you guys. He's screwing with everybody.
Gotta be.
Yeah. So it was Gallant or Gallant, whatever you want to say, or Peter Laviolette. And the problem with Peter Laviolette was that all he wanted was a little bit more money from the Devils, and he would have taken the job.
Right.
And the ownership of this team, because they don't care that much, I'm just going to call it like it is, just refused to give them the extra money. The Devils took the third option because Lindy Ruff was an assistant coach with the Rangers who was not doing well as a defensive coach he's an offensive coach. Why he was in charge of the penalty kill and defenseman for the Rangers is beyond me. I don't get
something new. I mean, we haven't had a good one in, I don't know, how many years, Dom?
Well, I mean, I would say it's been better of late. I mean, but
the game plan for the Rangers has been hope that Hank stops the puck. That's what it's been for the past 15 years. There hasn't been a game plan.
And now it's I hope Jesse can stop the puck.
Right, exactly.
And now you got Gorgiev going, all right, Trouba, just knock everybody over.
Yeah.
That's all it's going to be. Just hit everybody.
I think
Keandre to do that, and we'll be fine.
I think Trouba took a page out of PK Subban's book and just decided to go after everybody all of a sudden. I don't know what woke him up. But, yeah, I would say the guys that are available now, I mean, damn, I would have really loved Bruce Boudreau. I'm not surprised what he's doing in Vancouver. Yeah. I mean, Alain Vigneault potentially, but I don't know. You know, if it didn't work in Philadelphia, why would it work in New Jersey?
Right.
I guess really, and this might be controversial, but maybe a guy like John Tortorella.
I was going to say that
because here's why. That. I think at times this team needs a kick in the ass. I think sometimes this team doesn't believe in itself, and I think that John Tortorella would be good to come in for the whole season. I'm not saying you make him the long-term coach because we know what happens long-term with John Tortorella. I'm saying you need a guy to come in here and demand a lot more from these guys. It's not fully on the players. The coaching staff and the system that we have sucks. Mm-hmm. It's really bad. It's John Hines with a little bit more scoring. That's how bad. And it's really hard to at times do worse than what John Hines did when he was the coach with the Devils. But they need somebody like that. Rick Tocchet, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Rick Tocchet, he was okay in Arizona. He was okay. Do they need to go? You know, there was a rumor that was going around that the former Rangers coach, David Quinn, was potentially a rumor because he apparently has been attending a lot of Devils games. And I know this for a fact because I've sat next to him at least twice. He's a very nice guy, by the way. Very, very nice. Very smart hockey guy. But he's potentially maybe somebody. We've heard that Patrick Elias might be a coach that comes in. Maybe not a head coach, but as maybe an assistant.
Here's a twist. How about this? What about Travis Green?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, my God.
What I mean, it's not going to happen, but how funny would that be, having him?
I think it would be hilarious.
Coming all the way back to coaching the program that he basically started in Utica. Now he's at the program that now is the mother.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you're going to bring in somebody, you have two options. You either bring in somebody that's going to be here for the rest of the season and then you can evaluate from there, or you find somebody that you feel confident enough long-term can be your answer. The problem is that the Devils are waiting too long because you've already seen several teams fire their coach and bring in somebody else. Mm-hmm. Vancouver, all they needed was a different voice in the locker room. That team is too talented not to be doing what they're doing. And now look at them, 5 in a row, came back from down 3-0 last night to win.
Yeah.
That team has confidence. Yeah. You look at Florida. All Florida had to do was just make their assistant coach the interim head coach, and they're still rocking and rolling. I mean, granted, they got blown out 8-1 last night by Ottawa, but still, for the most part, they've been rocking and rolling. So my whole thing is that there is nobody specific out there that I would really want other than maybe Tortorella, but everybody is worried about the way hockey culture is now where the players are a lot softer and they don't react well to criticism. I mean, that was the whole knock on Mike Babcock when he was in Toronto, that he was too harsh with Austin Matthews. He was too harsh with Mitch Marner. And whether that's true or not, I think it made them better players in the long run. Also, it really hasn't changed a whole lot because they still haven't gotten out of the first round since he got fired. So for me, I don't know how many more games you can go playing as badly as the Devils have been playing, losing 6-1 last night, just playing atrocious and not do something about it. You have to make some change, whether it's just firing a guy like Mark Recchi or Alain Nasreddine. At least that's something. Because right now, what we have in place is not going to win us hockey games long term.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that about the old. Well, we'll just call it the old school coaches. Supposedly having a problem connecting with players. But look what Daryl Sutter's doing in Calgary.
I'm not surprised.
And if you talk to former players that played for Sutter, mostly, or guys like Sutter, mostly they'll say, yeah, they were hard, and there were days where I hated their lives. But in the long run, they will tell you that they made them better hockey players because of how tough they were on them.
Right.
And don't forget some guys, Claude Julian's still available too.
I forgot about Claude Julian. I mean, the funny thing about Julian is that he's coached with the Devils before. So this wouldn't be the first time. It's just different ownership and everything like that. I wouldn't necessarily be against that. He's been a proven winner. I know things have been rough for him of late. But, I mean, I don't know. Somebody mentioned Kirk Muller. I don't know. Kirk Muller.
That would be cool.
Kirk Muller did a pretty bang-up job when he had to take over on Montreal for a little bit last year and in the bubble. I mean, I can't really – I don't know. I really don't know what is the right move at this moment when it comes to the head coach. Honestly, how hilarious would it be if Marty Brodeur has to tell Patrick Waugh what to do? I think that's hilarious. I want that. He's like, you work for me and you listen to me.
That would be great.
It's like, no, and they're going to be at the table saying, all right, we're going to sign you, but you have to do one thing. You have to admit that I'm better than you. You have to admit it. You have to publicly admit it.
Publicly admit it, yes.
And you have to admit that I'm the better goalie.
Yes.
At the press conference. Couldn't you see that?
Oh, you did. I think Patrick Waugh.
This is the part you want to pay attention to right here.
Right.
I think Patrick Waugh will end up being in Montreal at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah. I think you're right.
Hell has officially frozen over.
Yeah, right. Well, speaking of goaltenders.
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
There it is.
Here we go. The Devils.
Another year of talking about goaltending because we can't get out of our own way.
Well, not only that, you can't stay out of the training room either because now Jonathan Bernier is out long term with a hip injury.
Yep.
I don't know if he's going to be back by the end of the season or what have you. He is officially done for the season.
He is. The problem is this. As you all know in hockey, nobody really knows how long anybody's out. They don't tell you anything. Miles Wood has been out with bumps and bruises, and it's late December. Last time I checked, bumps and bruises don't last until December. Jeremy, I'm sure you understand completely now.
Oh, yeah.
They don't last until December.
No, sometimes you wish they do, but no, they don't.
No, they don't. But we eventually found out with Wood because it got to the point where, okay, he's going to be out long term. He's got a hip problem. With Jonathan Bernier, he has the exact same injury that Miles Wood has. It's a hip problem. And Lindy Ruff said he's very concerned about the long-term effect of Jonathan Bernier with this hip injury, which is a sign from God that Jonathan Bernier will probably never, ever be the same goalie ever again. Right. He has the same problem that Corey Schneider had when he was at the tail end of his time in New Jersey. The groin injury just ruined Corey Schneider's career. He just never became the same goaltender, very inconsistent. And Jonathan Bernier was playing very well until the Winnipeg game, gave up 5 goals, and then we found out he got hurt. My guess is that he got hurt early on in that game, tried to play through it, and that's why he gave up 5 goals, because he couldn't move. Yeah. So just like the year before, with Corey Crawford deciding to retire before the season even starts, we once again don't have a legitimate backup goaltender. We could have had one, sort of, in Scott Wedgwood, but Arizona claimed him off waivers again.
Say that. Yep.
And everybody's talking about, oh, wouldn't it be great if we had Wedgwood? No, because he's not that good. Everybody talked about how good he was last year. We didn't have anybody else playing in the backup goaltending position because Corey Crawford retired. Honestly, I was going to do a podcast episode today talking about potential options for the Devils' backup goalie position. I went as nuts as saying, why don't we just ask Tuukka Rask if he feels like playing? You know what? Why don't we call him? Matter of fact, why don't we ask Chicago if they're willing to move on from Marc-Andre Fleury? I could care. You know what?
They were talking about that on NHL Tonight.
Anton Hudobin is in the minors. I know he's been horrible this year, but what do we got to lose, right? What do we have to lose? I mean,
Devin Dubnik's out there too.
Oh, don't get me started with Devin Dubnyk. I love his masks, but I don't like him as a goaltender.
Well, yeah.
And everybody said I was nuts when they said we don't want Freddie Anderson as our backup. Well, look at what he's doing now.
Look at now.
Right?
Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief, I know what I'm talking about.
Well, Neil, I figured you'd be in a much better mood because the Devils made a move today to get another goaltender.
Yeah.
The Devils' Instagram page was red hot about that. I was scrolling through the comments section.
Because we don't care. Because you have to understand, we don't care. All we care about is somebody getting fired. All right? Bro, Devils social media, really. Like, Devils Twitter, you can literally say that we just traded for Alexander Ovechkin, and nobody's going to care. Because they'll say, don't care, please fire somebody.
Who we firing? Fire someone.
Jared, look, I got it up right now. Are you ready? This is the most recent comment.
No, this
team is not even close to the answer. The team is not being coached properly. Future considerations, however, unlike our coaching staff. Those are the first 2 comments immediately. The third is, now we need to fire the coach to get some new players. Dude, it just goes on. Fire the Retchy ball. Dude, it just keeps going. It's brutal.
Dude, here's the thing. Literally what you guys should do is go on Twitter, save our hashtag NJ Devils, and every day go through the tweets. It is that funny. Like, I
gave you the follow on Twitter, Neil. I'm going to check it out.
Bro, it's hilarious. No, go to when we announced it. Go to when we announced the trade on Twitter. It gets worse. It just gets worse. Like, and look, and yes, Scott, let's talk about this trade, shall we?
We shall, because, I do want to get your opinion on something here, though.
It's interesting. I'll give you that.
I don't see John Gillies as being a long-term solution, of course.
It's not. No.
So, but here's the thing, right? With the Devils the Comets losing Nico Dawes till at least after Christmas.
To the dumbest reason.
I know.
To the dumbest reason.
You should have seen us all just absolutely hold our breaths and then watch him not being able to put weight on his right leg coming off the ice in Rochester was just
what we need.
Yeah, exactly. Although Merrick Mittens played really good. And I
love Mittens.
Against Cleveland.
Break out the Mittens, baby.
That's right. But let me ask you, as a Devils fan, as a Devils analyst, is it better to have kept Akira Schmid in New Jersey as his backup, but not getting any playing time to help with his development, or to go get at least somebody like Gillies to hold the fort down a little bit until maybe somebody else comes available? Because in my opinion, I think it would be much better served for the Devils organization to have Schmid down in Utica playing at least. As opposed to, because Blackwood's going to get most of the starts. That's a given. And rightfully so.
Unfortunately.
The guy, I mean,
We have
and
no
again,
choice.
right. So there you go.
We have
And
no
especially
choice.
with Dawes being out, Schmid's going
Mhm.
to get the lion's share of the starts in Utica.
Yep.
So am I on the right track there? Is that, perhaps in your opinion, what should they have done? Should they have just kept Schmid up in New Jersey, or
No,
No,
they should have. Here's the thing: they brought him up because we had no choice.
Right.
We didn't have time to do anything else.
Right.
Schmid is arguably the best goaltender in the AHL, and I'm not just saying that. Statistically speaking, he is 8-0-2, a 1.3 goals against average. He's been rock solid. Even after Nico Dahl's got hurt, he was still playing well. So if you have a goaltending tandem of Schmid and Mittens, that's fine. You're still going to win games. You're still going to win games because this team is outscoring everybody anyway.
Right.
So it's fine. Getting John Gillies. What's hilarious about John Gillies is this. I'll tell you a quick story. About several years ago, I was watching the Frozen Four National Championship game, Boston University versus Providence. In goal for Providence, John Gillies, who I had no idea who he was. Big man though, huge goaltender, very big size. He played a great game, and Providence won. And I said, damn, wouldn't it be nice to have a goaltender like that? Maybe it's like the successor to Marty. That was when he was picked up or drafted by Calgary.
Right.
It's just funny how things come full circle, and now he's finally a Devil, but it's like...
You don't want him.
It's anticlimactic now for you, right?
He hasn't even played... I don't think he's played a game in the NHL this year. I don't think so.
He played
one.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
played
he
one.
The Blues, yeah.
Great. And I mean, it's I don't know what Tom Fitzgerald is seeing in Gillies, except he's just here until somebody, like you said, Scott, comes available or somebody gets healthy or whatever. John Gillies, honestly, I'd start him tomorrow. I just throw him into the fire. Let's just see what we got. Let's just, if Lindy Ruff wants to shit, the worst thing that can happen is that we still lose the game.
Right.
We still lose and we get no points. And then Lindy Ruff goes another day without being fired. That's about as worse as he's going to get. Do you understand that there will be, at best, like maybe 4,000 people in the stands tomorrow? And it's not because of COVID. Oh, no. It's because this team sucks. And we're 6 points out of a playoff spot. And that's what's making me laugh.
You know what's brutal about that? Is if the Comets were at home tomorrow, there'd be 4,000 people there.
I was blown away. Here's the thing. Sold out. I was blown away. Home opener for the Comets. It was a packed house. And Scott did mention it to me. He said, I'm telling you, if they get good, that arena is going to be packed to the gills every night. And they have not disappointed. I'm blown away by what you guys are doing up there. It's phenomenal. I'm loving every single second of it. If only the Devils could play like that. If only the Devils could play like that, we'd be a machine. But with John Gillies, okay, let's see what we got. It's like the Giants have Jake Fromm. And it's like, you know what? Why don't we just play him? What do we got to lose, right? The season is over. Daniel Jones probably isn't going to play at all the rest of this season. Mike Glennon, we know, is horrible. So let's play Jake Fromm, who's never played in an NFL game before.
He might surprise
What do you
you.
have to lose? No, he might.
He was an SEC quarterback. You know he can play.
He might throw 4 touchdowns against the Cowboys on Sunday, for all we know. Who knows? I have no idea. So it's like, so when I saw the Devils made a trade, my heart dropped at first because I thought, oh, what did we do? What did we panic? It's like, we must have panicked on something. And it was like, well, if I didn't get anything 2 hours ahead of time, because usually my sources give me heads up, usually an hour before something happens, I was like, this probably isn't that big of a deal. And sure enough, they showed a St. Louis Blues goaltender, and for a hot second, I thought it was Jordan Binnington. And I said to myself, no way.
That's a dream.
I would have laughed. I would have been like, that is so weird. But it was like, and I was like looking at him, and he was wearing Calgary Flames gear with a Blues jersey, and I was like, who the hell is that? And John Gillies, and I go, is that the dude from Providence? Let me look this up. And I'm like, that's the dude from Providence that won a national championship about 5 years ago. Wow. I feel old.
It was the ghost of Rick Wamsley.
It was just so, I mean, dude, like, just go on I swear to God, just go on social media and look at the comments of just how we feel. Nobody said anything about like, oh, what a great move. Oh, what a terrible move. It's like, don't care. Lindy Ruff needs to be fired.
I was dying. I texted these guys. I go, dude, you guys got to see this. This guy goes, what do you mean? I go, it's brutal. Like, it's, oh my God. I've never seen anything like it.
Devils fans are not dumb. We've seen this stuff for 8 years straight now. Nobody cares about moves like this. Nobody cares. You're not, because we know it's not going to make a difference.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so awesome.
I'll trade you, Georgie.
So to answer your question, Scott, that is how I feel
right now.
Don't fall into that. Don't fall into that.
He is.
It's just because he's playing every day. Don't fall into that.
Well, I mean, I understand that, but he's still playing okay.
Nope.
I mean, all right. Who else you want in there? Huska?
I've been over this. I've been over who I want.
Yeah, well, no.
Trade Georgie. Give me Keith Kincaid as a backup, baby.
Come on. There you go.
He's a backup. That's a backup goalie.
Kincaid straight.
This is the same.
He's still with Hartford.
Yeah,
this is the same Keith Kincaid that blocked me on Twitter. So I don't want nothing to do with this man.
He's like the nicest guy in the world. He blocked you. What'd you do?
No, he's not. He's an asshole. He's an asshole. Here's the thing. Now, let me tell you something.
Tell us how you really feel.
I'll tell you how I really feel. Here's the thing. Keith Kincaid does not do well with criticism. You cannot say anything negative about him on social media without him losing his mind. He's like Kevin Durant without a burner account. Like, the thing about it is that you don't even have to tweet at him. You could just say his name and he will go block you. I know people that have said good things about him and he still blocked them. So I don't care. I didn't do anything. I haven't said, here's the thing. With Keith Kincaid on Devil's State of Mind, I have not said a word. I have not said anything about Keith Kincaid, except right now, but not on social media. And I looked one time, I clicked on his profile that said, this user has blocked you. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Like, you sensitive man. Like, you're not even on the Devils anymore. Relax. Nothing would make me happier than for Keith Kincaid to start a game against the Devils and be absolutely ass.
Well, I guess I had a hot button there, boys.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, I'll tell you what, though.
He will definitely not be coming on my podcast anytime soon.
Well, you know what, though? If the Devils do trade for him, we got to have Neil back on.
Oh, my God.
Right?
Oh, look at him. My God.
Look at him. He's
I'm going to have a stroke. I'm going to have a stroke if that happens. Bro, dude, the only reason that anybody likes him is because the fans that, okay, there are a lot of fans that think that he's a very attractive man. I could care less about that. I could care less. The only person we've ever had that was good looking that actually did anything was Taylor Hall. People used to infatuate about Kevin Rooney, who I'm sorry to say is a fourth liner.
I don't entirely disagree with that. Yeah.
No, you don't. You guys are seeing. I'm sure a lot of Rangers fans are falling head over heels for him.
No, he's no Julian Gauthier.
Yeah, you got Julian. You got a few young.
I like how we
still.
went from talking about how do I feel about John Gillies to how much I don't like Keith Kincaid.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up a good point. He's a man rocket and he can get it. But either way, moving on. Now that we went down this tangent.
Tell you what. Here, let's do this. I'll tell you, just so his head doesn't explode. We're going to do you a favor, Neil. Okay, so let's go the other way. Prospects coming up through the system. Who do you like?
Well, I mean, I like Riley Walsh. I really do.
Oh, yeah.
I think this kid has potential to be a mainstay in the NHL for a long time. He's definitely, though, somebody that I would say is like a long-term prospect. He doesn't have the biggest size, but it's fine. He could still do a whole lot and be very productive. Alexander Holtz. What can I say? This dude's got a shot and a half. This dude will get sent down from the Devils and play the same night and score 2 goals. That's how good that this guy is. Yep. He just needs more time down there. And Kevin Dineen is getting the best out of Alexander Holtz. Now, granted, he's going to the World Juniors right now, but that's okay. We are okay with him doing that. So is Utica. Everybody understands why he's going.
Which, by the way, Comets fans, he probably won't be playing this Thursday and Friday because I think he
left
tonight.
He left yesterday.
Yes,
he left yesterday.
Okay.
Yep. He left yesterday because camp starts today for
That's
at least Sweden, excuse me. Fabian Zederlin, who played a little bit in the NHL. I like him for his speed and his physicality. I really do. He definitely brings a different type of element. I love all the goaltenders. I love Schmid. I love Schmidt. Sorry. I love Nico Dawes. Those guys have been tremendous. Let's see who else has been really rocking and rolling. I don't understand how DeLeo is like the best player on the team. I think that's hilarious, by the way. That he's like, is he still their top point getter? Is he still? I
don't know if it's
with Riley Walsh right now.
I was going to say he's tied with Walshy.
Yeah.
I have it up. I had it up on my phone because Riley Walsh now. Yeah, Riley Walsh now. Oh no, actually they're both tied. They're both tied at 15. Yeah, 15. Graham Clark, my boy from the Ottawa 67s, is dude. He's going to be an NHL player. He has goal scoring ability, and we just need to get him up in the NHL sooner rather than later. I don't know about Nolan Foote. The thing is that it seems like he's just had a really tough year in general, and I don't really understand why. I don't know.
He's just, you watch him play and you see how big he is, and you see him in warmups, and you see him, he's not a small guy. He's not like the Leo. He's not like a Russo. Mm-hmm. He's big, but he doesn't use it.
Right.
He's not using his physicality that I think that he probably, obviously he has. He's just not using it. So he's getting pushed around a lot. And I hope like at some point he kind of snaps out of it and says, oh yeah, I'm bigger than you. I can do this. Because I don't know if it's a confident thing where he's saying to himself, I don't know if I can do this in like a growing pain year. Because that's what I'm seeing. Like he's not ripping the shot that he wants. He's not getting dirty in the corners enough. And I just think he'll get there. It's just going to take a little bit of time.
He struggled in the preseason as well. It just seemed like right from the get-go he wasn't feeling himself. He wasn't feeling the confidence. Another guy that I love that just got called up is Kevin Ball. I mean, this dude is the hilarious thing about Kevin Ball is that he says that he's an offensive defenseman. And I'm like, dude, you're 6'7", 200 plus, and you're an offensive defenseman. And I'm like, I'm waiting for that moment where in the NHL, he just lines up somebody and obliterates them. I just think that sometimes
I'm waiting for it here in Utica.
Right. It's like, I mean, no, Jeremy, it's exactly like you were talking about with Nolan Foote. It's like, use that physicality. You have that ability. You are massive. You are bigger than everybody. And Kevin Ball has gotten better. I could see it. He's played well in Utica offensively. And I think defensively, look, he just blocks a lot of shots. Not a lot is going to get past
him. You can't get around him.
No, you can't.
I mean, he opens his arms and you're going, and you literally see some of the wingers come down the boards, and he'll open up and you'll see him go, and their eyes will get big. And you're like, where do I go?
It's
and
like,
they look,
what?
And the puck goes out of the zone. I'm going, Ballsy just did his job. Like he literally just did the job without doing much. I mean, all he didn't poke check the puck. He just opens up and he's like, the wingers go, uh-oh. And there's nowhere for him to go.
And we're big on go ahead, Scott.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was just gonna tell you, up here he's got his own fan club too.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to check
Balls out. It's Balls Out.
Balls are at Balls Army on Twitter.
Yeah, on Twitter. You got to check that out.
I just dropped it in the chat.
Dude, I gotta find that. Funny. That is so awesome. That is so awesome.
It's great because they got shirts that they wear at the Adirondack Bank Center. It's great.
I gotta find this. I gotta get me one of those. That is sick, man. I love that.
Yeah.
But
Balls out, baby.
I'm also a pretty big fan of Michael Vukochevich. Another big defenseman. Like the thing about it, and I'm sure you guys see this from watching, the Devils have made it a point to have a lot more bigger, very big defensemen like playing. And I think that even with a guy like Shakir Mukhamadullin, who's playing in the KHL, he's one of our top defensive prospects. The dude's like 6'6". He's a tall, lengthy defenseman. That's the thing. That's what's funny about a guy like Luke Hughes. He's like the smallest defenseman we have in the system. And he's still like very good. Which I know, Jeremy, you're probably very happy to see him play with the Boys in Blue.
That's right, baby.
Not surprised that Aiden Hutchinson finished second in the Heisman.
I am.
I think that was crap. I think it was crap because Kenny Pickett should have finished. And granted, I'm biased because I'm from Jersey.
Kenny Pickett should have won the Heisman, not Bryce Young.
Well, it's Bama. They ain't gonna.
That's the reason why they won it. That's the reason why.
But all in all, I mean, we have a lot of really solid prospects. And the thing about it is that the chemistry that this team has with one another is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. They know exactly where they need to be, and they all enjoy playing together. And Kevin Dineen has got it. And you know who doesn't get talked about enough? Sergei Brylin, who has been in this organization for a long time, just as a coach. He's been here through several owners, several GMs, and I'm shocked that he is not a coach in the NHL, even just an assistant. Hell, I know you guys probably wouldn't like this, but I would fire Mark Recchi and bring up Sergei Brylin to help out, because it seems like he figured it out down there. He's figuring it out very well. And so we have the right pieces in place. It's just about, we need to fix the NHL part of our organization before the AHL part of our organization is ready to go. Right. Because we cannot be we cannot be stagnant by the time these kids come up, because then they're going to end up being stagnant. That's my problem.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And I do want to ask you too, because we touched on Alexander Holtz.
I also really don't like the Rochester Americans, by the way.
Oh, I'm so sick of playing them. I just wrote an article. I'm so sick
their social media account pisses me off. Oh. No, they really try to be funny about it. Also, I don't think the Utica Comets should have to apologize for roasting Cole Caulfield on social media. I don't think we have to apologize for anything.
No, I think
everybody's just sensitive.
Daddy's got to come and save him again, and whatever, it's fine. Whatever. We'll just come at you. We'll come at him harder.
Max Domi used to get roasted on social media all the time, and Tide never had to come in and do anything. He just said, "Hey, he's a grown man. He can figure it out." Yep. And Max Domi's fine.
We'll come heavier and harder next time.
Yeah.
Which I can't wait for.
Bro. Well, I think he's in Montreal now, Cole.
Yeah.
Oh, good for him.
Good for him. We'll see. The Comets play Laval again on February 2nd, I believe it is. So we'll see what happens by then. But with Alexander Holtz, I wanted to ask you that, obviously he was lighting it up in the A for the Comets. I mean, and everybody, I'm going to tell you something, everybody loves him here. Right?
Oh, I'm sure.
And so he was called up to the NHL, up to the Devils, and it seemed like he struggled for a bit up there. It was a healthy scratch a few times. Let me ask you something. Should the Devils just keep him at the AHL level this season, let him get acclimated to the North American game, get his confidence back up, and then maybe come back at it, say, beginning of next season? Or, because it depends on what direction the season goes for the Devils.
Oh, yeah.
They may, by, say, March, just start calling up prospects and saying, here you go, kids. Welcome to the big show.
Welcome, try.
Right? Might be sooner than March, my friend. Well, the way we're playing right now, it might be sooner than March.
Well, could be, but we're hoping to keep some of the guys just from a selfish point of view. For us.
I know, I understand.
We're enjoying this league too much.
I know.
but no, seriously, especially with Holtz. I mean, he's kind of the star of the show, so to speak, for the prospect system for the Devils. Yeah. Would it be smarter for them to keep him down here for the rest of the season and just start over again next season?
I think it's the right move. I don't fully blame Alexander Holtz for the reasons that he struggled, because you saw right away when he got on this team that he wanted the puck and he wanted to shoot it. Right. And the problem is that this team is too passive, so they don't really know what to do with a guy like him. And I felt like that Lindy Ruff was trying so hard to get Holtz to play a certain way that it was preventing Holtz from playing the way that he's capable of playing, which is shooting the puck. And that's the problem that it was. It seemed like for him, all he had to do was get his first NHL goal, and then the goals would start rolling. Like, that's the way it looked like. I don't like the fact that he was a healthy scratch several times, because it was like, if he's a healthy scratch, why don't you just send him back down to Utica? Just play. Right. Just let him play. Because the problem is this. We all wondered why he didn't make the team out of camp. And the reason was because they said they wanted him to get more playing time. So then they bring him up like a month and a half into the year, and then they sit him for several games. What is the point of that? And you know what? What I give Alexander Holtz a lot of credit for is that he doesn't take it personally. He just decided, okay, I'm going to go down, and I'm going to work my ass off.
I'm going to keep playing my way.
I'm going to keep playing. And I'm going to show them that I am capable of doing what you need me to do on a consistent basis. We need a coach in here that's going to see that talent and say, we need to emphasize that. We get excited. Fans are going to be frothing at the mouth when Alexander Holtz says that the guy he looked up to the most is Alexander Ovechkin. If that shot, which is what you've seen on the power play, he stands in the exact same spot
sure does.
as where Ovechkin stands, You don't think to tell me that Alexander Holtz can't be the Devils' version of Ovechkin, a guy that could score 40-plus goals a year? I'd take that in a heartbeat.
Watching him warm up, watching him skate, watching him pass, watching him shoot. I mean, you're 100% right on that, Neil. Like he has
unbelievable confidence in himself.
Yeah, he does. I mean, sure, the physicality side of it is a little different, obviously.
He's over 200 pounds. He can deal with it.
But he's still a kid. Like he's still 19 years old. I mean,
no,
he's a baby. I think you've hit it hammer right on the head. I mean, it's just he's that good that he doesn't get demoralized. He doesn't get down on himself. He's very humbled. He just stays true to what he knows and where he is, and he knows that he's just gonna go. And that's all he wants to do. He just wants to go. He just wants to play the game.
He just wants to play hockey.
He doesn't care where it is right now. If he has to learn here, fine. If he has to learn going up, fine. But either way, he's still playing the game that he loves, and he's still, doing what he emulates, which is Alex. So
and that's why he's going to the World Juniors, because we know he's going to dominate.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the older players in the tournament. He's going to light it up. I would not be surprised if he was one of the better players out there. Now, granted, it's going to be on a wider. It's not going to be on a wider ice because they're playing in Canada. So this is actually a really good thing for him just in general, because the ice is going to be the same.
Right.
It's going to be NHL ice. So it'll give him another opportunity for him to get more accustomed to it. So to answer your question, Scott, it would make more sense for me to just leave him down there for the rest of the season, especially with this. Look, I know that some people might not think this is a big deal, but if Utica were to go on a major run, and let's say if everything goes to plan, maybe we win the Calder Cup. That is such a huge thing.
By the way, I just knocked on wood for everybody.
Thank you.
All right,
Jeremy. Jeremy, Devils fans need to knock on wood more than ever right now, my friend. But if they go and do that, that is a massive confidence boost for that entire team. The organization itself says, you know what? We're building a winning program here. We're building a winning organization here. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be where, we have guys down there that have proven that they know how to win. The thing that blew my mind was that when Fabian Zederlin got called up, you know what the first thing he said to the media when he got called up? He said, I hope I can bring that 10-game winning streak from Utica up here to the Devils. He's got confidence going everywhere. Yeah. For him to say that as somebody who was just getting into the NHL, making his NHL debut, for him to say that is quite impressive. And that is where the job of Kevin Dineen, Sergei Brylin, and that entire coaching staff has done a fantastic job.
I'm glad you said that, because my daughter just wants everybody to know that she absolutely loves.
Oh, yes, awesome.
Fabian Zederlin.
Did you tell her, Scotty, that I kind of sat next to Holtzy and Zetz the other night at dinner after the game?
Because I'll tell you what, because then we would have to go to the 72 every night for dinner. That's not going to happen. So I did.
Come on, Jerry. You know how kids are. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. Hey, there you go.
But I got to tell you something, Neil. What you just said about Holtz, basically idolizing Alexander Ovechkin. Just because of that, I hope you guys win the Stanley Cup someday, because I want to see if he can celebrate like Alex Ovechkin. That's what I want to see.
Hey,
right?
That's what we all want.
19.
And I'll tell you what, leave him down here in Utica enough, and he'll learn how to do it. Trust me. So.
Well,
19. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure no one in this city is letting him drink here.
Yeah.
Quiet.
Yeah, right.
No, they are not.
Yeah.
I speak for every establishment.
Yeah.
They are not letting him drink illegally.
Neil, you guys have you've already got we're just gonna walk away from that one.
Slow transition to the next topic.
Yeah. That's I think the censor button's getting ready.
Here we go.
So you got Marion Studenichuk right now, and you also got Kevin Ball, who we mentioned.
Kevin
before.
Ball. Yep.
Who do you think is going to be the next ones that are going to come up in the event of, say, give me a forward, give me a defenseman? Mm-hmm. And we already know what the goaltending situation is, so we don't have to rehash that again.
Yeah.
We'll stay away from that.
Please. Please. I can't take – no. As somebody who's a former goalie and who idolized Martin Brodeur, we have the greatest goaltender to ever play the position. We take goaltending for granted way too much. We really do. Well, we criticize it, I think, more than a lot of fans, because we were so used to having stability in net that nowadays we just don't. And that's what's frustrating. That we keep thinking the next goaltender that comes in and does well right away is the next Marty Brodeur. Like when Blackwood first came up, that was the same art. That was the same thing. That was our same reaction.
Wow, that sounds like Ranger fans going, hey, we got Shesty as Lundqvist right now.
Yeah, no, don't. Yeah, no.
Yeah, but you know what, though, Neil? Mark Brodeur got to start in Utica, so maybe someday
that's true.
Nico does or Kira Schmid, right?
No, actually, my money's on Merrick Mittens. He's gonna be the most unlikely person to be good, and he'll be the best of the bunch. Watch.
You know what? You're gonna have you got a Marty Brodeur, Sean Burke, Chris Terreri mix now in Utica.
Yeah, right.
That's true. We have very good goal. I only wish we had that goaltending in the NHL. If we did that, we'd be in a lot better position. But as far as guys coming up, I think the most likely people is probably, I think Riley Walsh is going to get an opportunity if things go awry. I think Graham Clark.
We frozen.
His screen froze up.
Yep.
Oh, good.
He'll be back in just a second. So, you know what? It's funny that he was just mentioning the goaltending because, you know what? Mittens, Dawes, and Schmidt. Doesn't that sound like a law firm?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, boy. Yeah, so Neil's having a little bit of a technical difficulty right now. So while he's straightening that out,
he's back.
There he is.
What just happened?
Your screen froze.
Is this thing on?
Yeah, right. Can you hear me now?
Can you guys hear me now? Does anyone know what just happened at all?
Yeah, your screen froze.
Your screen froze up.
My screen froze. Okay, that was strange. And my headset died. So there you go. There's just one thing. This is growing great, guys. But
it's like I don't do this all the time or anything.
No, it's not like I don't. It's not like I do this for a living or anything, right?
Right.
Exactly. Oh, jeez. But those would be the three guys. I think Nolan Foote. With Nolan Foote, I think that the Devils just love his potential so much that they want to give him every possibility. And look, we got him in the trade for Blake Coleman. And we know the type of ability that he has. And we just want him to be given an opportunity. Now, is it possible that the Devils could use some of these guys to maybe make a move to get a big-time player to come help the team now? Absolutely. But I think the way Tom Fitzgerald wants to run this team, he wants to run this team from the ground up with the farm system and having a lot of prospects coming up and playing. That's kind of how we're in the situation now. A lot of the guys that we have are guys that we've either drafted or are just young guys that we got in who had very little NHL experience, and now we're in this position. And so I would say those are the three most likely guys moving forward. Maybe Vukochevich. I don't know. It's kind of flip-flopping with him because I think it's Vukochevich is the one that keeps going from ECHL to Utica, which kind of worries me a little bit that he keeps flip-flopping like that. I don't know if it's...
Yeah, I don't know what's going on because and a lot of the time he's been in Utica, he was a healthy scratch as well.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? There's so much potential with that kid.
And that's the thing. We have a lot of players in this farm system that have so much potential that if everything goes right, if they're developed correctly, they're going to be really, really good players.
You know what other defense?
Not all of them are going to be stars, but the fact that we have opportunity to get role players to come up and be major contributors in their other ways, because you're not going to win the Stanley Cup with just stars. You got to win with workman-like players. You got to win with a balance of everything. Even you got to give Tampa credit. They have a bunch of workman-like players as well in their bottom six that do very well. That's what Tom Fitzgerald wants to build with this team.
Yeah, and you know who else has been really good on the defense down here is Nikita Holtz.
Blocks every shot.
I can't say that name still.
Holtz.
Yeah, thank you. For whatever reason, I can't spit it out.
It's good.
Yeah,
Nikita he blocks every shot. Unbelievable.
I cannot. I'm not going to lie. What was it? The last game? What was it? Tuesday night? Wednesday night? Friday night? I don't even know what night it was. But we were literally sitting there and we're like, you know what? He hasn't been in the box yet. Sure enough, there goes the fight. It's almost literally saying like,
it wasn't even a fight.
It wasn't even a fight. He kind of just
it was a Kurt Angle belly-to-belly suplex.
And he just kind of just pulled his head down and said, "Yep, I don't feel like doing this, but I'll take a penalty."
I love how every week this show ends up going back to old school WWF. I love it.
Hey. we got a lot of Bobby the Brain.
Yeah, I know.
We got a lot of physical players in our farm system, that's for sure.
Oh, there it is. The Macho Dom.
Go about your day.
So speaking of the Macho Dom, I know you got a question you want to ask Neil.
Oh.
What's up, Dom?
I just wanted to bounce it off. Now, this is my own personal experience that I've had the last couple years. There was a lot of people in Vancouver that did not like us when their system was here, and I was just interested. Obviously, there's such a pulse on the fan base of the Devils. Like, what kind of reaction was there when the team moved? I know Binghamton's a little closer to New Jersey, But knowing the type of fan base we have here in Utica and just the ability to kind of give these guys a boost, if there was any type of talk, whether positive or negative, having the team move here.
I think at first we were surprised because then we heard about how the Devils operated when it came to getting away from Binghamton, which I still am not a fan of. I didn't like the way that they handled that situation. I understood why we were going back to Utica because a lot of people were saying, well, when it came to our farm system, once we went to Utica, that's where we started to get a lot of success. And Utica has a very passionate fan base up there. So let's give it a try. I would say this with 100% certainty. Every Devils fan up here in New Jersey absolutely loves what's going on in Utica. We are blown away by the amount of support that you guys give us for these young players, how enthusiastic you are. And we are, and that's the biggest reason to me why the team has had so much success so far this season is because that crowd in Utica is phenomenal. You guys are so awesome as hockey fans, and you are making it such a great place to play where these young kids who have dreams of being NHL players and playing for the New Jersey Devils, you're making them feel, really, really at home and very comfortable. And I think that that's what is great. And I hate knocking on Binghamton, but Binghamton never really did that for us in many ways. And I think that was the problem. So at the end of the day, I personally, and I feel like I could speak for a lot of Devils fans, we absolutely love what's gone on in Utica so far. And, I think the only thing that we were thinking about doing was like changing the name to the Utica Devils. But I remember somebody was like, it's got to be just the Comets. So
yeah.
That's it, man. I really love what you guys do up there.
Yeah, it's been great too. And we've talked about this a million times, but Scott obviously is the odd one out. He's a Kings fan, but me and Jeremy are Rangers fans. And you think being in New York or so close to Buffalo, be a lot more Sabres fans or even Rangers. The majority of people I know are Devils fans.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it comes with having the Devils here and just for the fact that they've been successul compared to the Rangers and the Islanders and the Sabres the last 25 years.
Right.
So I think a lot of that plays into it with the enthusiasm. I mean, I would say take a trip up sometime when things are cool, calm, collected as far as all this COVID stuff goes. But man, the energy in the building, especially this year, is electric. The fans are eating it up. I love it. I'm a big fan of the color change, especially. No disrespect to Vancouver, but the black and the red fits the city. It's a little more gritty. I love it. It's going good. Really well. So when we got the news, I was very, very, as a season ticket holder, I was very excited.
I'm sure. Yeah, it's been great. It's been a great partnership, and hopefully, I'm hoping that this is a place that we stay put in for a pretty long time. That's what I'm hoping for, because we've had a lot of inconsistency with where our minor league team is. Albany, then we moved to Binghamton, and now we're here. And I'd like to hope that Utica is a place that we stay for a while.
I don't see it going away. I mean,
if it's going to be like this every year, then nobody's going to complain.
Yeah, with the future with the way the play is going and the way how the actual building's going to be going, I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Bad teams don't draw money, Jer.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you though, Dom, you've written a couple articles for the website that's really knocked it right out of the park as far as the fan base passion here and the AHL schedule, which is a very
it's getting stale, article. Boys. Yeah, it's stale. But the one I'm working on right now.
The AHL schedule is so weird.
Thank you.
I don't understand.
Thank you.
You play one game and then you're off for like 9 days. I'm like, what is this? It's not high school.
We've already played Rochester. This next time is going to be the 7th time we've played them this year. I feel like I'm in the COVID bubble. I'm getting sick.
Yeah. Yes.
We're in the middle of a 3-game set against Cleveland. And then I brought this up in the article. I think it's next, like 2 weeks from now or whatever. We play Syracuse 4 out of 5 games.
I don't get that.
2 and then 1 off and then 2 again.
Yeah. Is this just what it is every year, or is it just this year that they're doing weird?
Syracuse we see all the time.
Yeah.
Syracuse we see all the time. I don't ever remember seeing Rochester this often.
Yeah.
I just want to play San Diego or something.
I remember seeing Hershey a lot. I mean,
Hershey a lot. Cross country to place the San Diego
Ontario.
Goals.
Yeah, it's just one time. Something.
Right? Yeah. We
actually
Dom,
made a great point.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you made a great point when you said that the ECHL does it.
What part of Utah is on the East Coast? I'll tell you, 0. Short answer.
There is an interesting.
My brother responded to that by just going the East part.
The East part.
That was good, Jeff. That was good. He's been to Utah, so he knows it better than I do.
I just think it would be cool, like, especially Scott, you know, and it's not like you're not a hockey fan. I know you're a Devils fan, but you're a hockey fan too, right?
Right, of course.
There's a ton of great talent out there. Like, how much good talent is over on the West Coast in the AHL right now? It'd be so much fun to watch.
Talent,
You know, so I just think it'd be good for the exposure of the league to shake it up a little bit, and the players, the teams, it'd be fun.
NHL teams travel all over the country. Why can't AHL teams?
That's what, and a point that I made in the article, and maybe you, Neil, watching these kids come through the Devils organization or any organization, say your first moment. That's a great comment. We can get rid of that.
Yeah, we got.
You can nix that, bud.
Yeah.
Freaking.
Yo.
That was locked.
What
there you go.
That one.
Don't worry about it, Jared.
Yeah,
what
is going on here?
A point that I made. Yeah. Is that again? I thought we blocked.
I try refreshing the page.
All right, I'm gonna block that out so I can make the point I was gonna make. YouTube's wild, man.
Oh, I know. I do live watch-alongs on the Hockey Pod Network YouTube channel.
Yeah,
bro, we get people that come on and just say the darndest things.
Yeah,
and nobody has any idea how to respond to it. We just sit there and go,
"All
right, it's there."
We do apologize. We do not condone any of that. That's
right.
ridiculous.
No, of course not.
After so rudely interrupted, my point was going to say pick at whatever comment you want, right? Say this guy had to play a night. We just drove to and from Charlotte or whatever, and then he's got to get called to New Jersey, but they're playing in Anaheim tomorrow. The first time this guy's had to travel to play is his first night in the show. I mean, that's just so much unnecessary pressure and stress on this kid. He had
to fly like late at night to get over to Anaheim.
If you're not used to doing that all year, I mean, that's an adjustment. And then you might not perform. It's like, no kidding. Like,
well, he's already dealing with time difference because he's coming from a completely different country to play in North America.
They're not used to that. Like, these guys aren't used to that.
We did it when we had the Vancouver organization.
Guys go back you see how well that worked out?
That worked out terribly.
That must have been fun.
Oh my God, it's brutal. But that's another nice thing, Jared. I'm glad you brought that point up.
That never made any sense to me that you guys.
The first couple of years we were still in the Western Conference.
And it was like, and the thing was, but again, it's like Vancouver, and then anytime somebody gets called up, unless they're playing on the East Coast by chance, they're flying cross country to go to Vancouver.
Right.
Weird, very weird.
Well, that's the nice thing. I'm sure Devils fans could probably appreciate this too. Is like not only are we still in New York State, pretty close to New Jersey, but our East Coast team is here too. So the whole organization is basically all on I-90 for the most part.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's tremendous.
We kept it very much a very straightforward path. I mean, a very straightforward path.
Smart move. It's a solid
move. I actually have wondered that, because I know sometimes teams do this, but I've often wondered what would happen if the Utica Comets decided to play a game or two at the Prudential Center, because I would just want to see how many people would show up. Like, not just from Jersey.
That would be all right. That'd be
there.
Like, I want to see, because I want to see that type of atmosphere.
Or even the Devils, just flip flop a game.
Yeah, that would
Devils
be
come here.
Oh, I feel like you guys would pack the place if the Devils came and played.
Jammed.
Yeah,
I think that would be
good.
Be
jammed 100%.
And then we'd all talk about the Devils being relocated. The rumors will come out again. Oh, we're relocating. We're relocating to Utica. So
4,000 seat arena in Utica.
They'll just get all the tax. They'll get the tax money and upgrade from 4,000 to 20,000.
Well, they already got the suites, so don't worry.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good. Oh man, Neil, we got a few more items to get here. You got a couple more minutes, or?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So when you were on before, we used to go to commercial break at this point to do breakaway trivia, but since Dave is convalescing still, and I have nowhere near his talent with this stuff, we just do breakaway trivia now, and we don't do a commercial break.
Let's do it.
And as always, breakaway trivia is brought to you by Jimmy the Iceman McNeil's children's book, The Red and White Zamboni Ice Machine. If you would like a copy, you can email Jimmy at mac_iceman@hotmail.com. All right, guys. So this week's breakaway trivia question is.
That almost like he's looking for a ghost.
I thought I could. I have headphones. It's raining. I didn't.
Oh gosh.
You're calling for time.
The only time I'm ever up here is for the podcast. So I'm not used to. My house is a Cape Cod style house. So the roof is right here. I'm always downstairs. I don't know. Then go ahead.
Okay, so that notwithstanding, everybody knows Wayne Gretzky holds the 51-game point scoring streak. That's the NHL record. Who has the second longest streak in the NHL all time?
I know this. I don't know this, but I think I know this.
All right, I'll let you go last then.
Yeah.
Jeremy, what's your guess?
Mario?
Neil?
Mark Messier.
And
Is it Wayne Gretzky?
nope, Jeremy was right.
Mario.
Yeah.
Wayne
I
was
would have gone with Mario if Jeremy hadn't said it, but I just decided not to say it.
Yeah.
Josh Briggs turned it in, says 66. I'm assuming.
Yeah, he's right. It was Mario Lemieux, 46 games in the 1989-90 season. I remember that because I was a huge Wayne Gretzky fan when I was that age. I think I was, 14, 15, something like that. And I remember losing my mind over this, thinking that Mario was going to break my idol's record. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, it's the end of the world, So yeah,
you were a big Gretzky fan?
I was a huge Gretzky fan.
Oh, it's interesting. I guess I never put together that a kid from a small town upstate New York ended up being a Kings fan.
Well, there you go. That was it right there.
It makes too much sense. It makes perfect sense.
Hey, do you have a hockey podcast?
What's that?
Do you have a hockey show?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No, the other guy.
No, yeah. What's it called?
Is it called Marty's Illegal?
Yeah, what's it called?
Marty's Illegal Stick. I think he
I wonder where that came from.
Yeah.
When you type it in on YouTube, what do you think comes up?
It should be this show. But it's a clip.
We're getting there. So
yeah,
we're trying.
Making waves.
Now we just got to get Marty on.
I'm trying. That would be awesome. I would.
You've been trying. Anyway. Yeah, you've been trying for that, huh?
Yeah.
And then the whole hour is just going to be that play. Just the whole hour is just going to be, let's talk about that.
You know what?
Let's just get right into it.
I mean, we joke about it and it's funny, but you know what though? The Kings really don't make the final that year without him.
No,
he was outstanding in that playoff run.
You're right.
They also don't make it if Gretzky didn't take a dive.
Oh, come on. Come on.
There's a slice there for you.
I mean, the thing is, like, I wrote a book on the Maple Leafs, and I watched that play several times. Gretzky took a dive. Don't care. Nothing.
Hey, they didn't call him the great one for nothing, Neil. It was everything. All right.
They call him the slick one too.
Yeah, well.
now he's promoting NFTs.
I know.
Bro, the commercial is so bad. I'm sorry. It's so cringy to me.
It is.
It's like talking about NFTs. It's like, oh, here's a puck and I'm going to shoot. And now you can take a picture. I was like, just screenshot it and you have it. Literally, just screenshot it and you have an NFT. Congratulations.
Oh, man. Oh, boy.
I'm more of a Mario guy myself, so it doesn't matter.
And that's surprising, being a Devils fan.
Well, the thing is, here's a fun fact. The year that Mario Lemieux was drafted, there was a battle to tank, basically, between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the New Jersey Devils that year. And both of those teams basically battled it out to the end to see who would finish last. And the Penguins ended up finishing last by a point because the Devils won their final game. If the Devils had lost their final game, they would have had the number one overall pick, and Mario Lemieux would have been a Devil.
No kidding.
I don't know what would have happened with the organization, like just in general, when it came to that, because the Devils ended up drafting Kirk Muller second overall, which kind of worked out for us anyway.
Right.
Because Kirk Muller was very good, very respected in Devils lore. But I think that's also just kind of a cool piece of trivia that I don't think a lot of people know, that the Devils almost got Mario Lemieux.
Wow, I did not know that.
He's also just I also think he's just a prototypical goal scorer. Just 6'4", well over 200 pounds.
I can do everything.
He can do everything. That's why I like Ovechkin so much, because he's the do-it-all guy. He can lay the body, score goals, make really good plays.
Make great commercials too.
Yager too, yeah. I love Yager when he was with the Devils. Yager in New Jersey was like the greatest thing for like a year and a half, because sadly he was our best player.
Yeah, but you know what? Didn't Yager spend like a year and a half with like just about every NHL franchise?
Yeah, I thought his ultimate goal was to sign 1-year contracts with every team in the NHL and then
travel the country. That's all he wanted to do.
And he's still playing, apparently, as far as I was told.
Yeah, over in the Czech Republic.
He's not going to retire. Why would he retire?
Yeah,
he's going to play in a beer league somewhere, maybe up by you guys.
Oh God.
Yeah, you watch. That'll be next.
No. Him and Danny can stay.
You know what, Jeremy? You think your bruise is bad now? Wait till Yarmer gets here.
Nope. Sorry, not doing that.
Well, guys, we got some happy birthdays here. Happy birthday to A.J. Greer. The Utica Comets forward turned 25 on Tuesday. He's awesome. You know what?
Is he awesome?
Yes, he's one of those gritty sandpaper guys that you need.
What do you think our reaction was when we acquired him?
Well, let's see. Was it any better than what you got, John Gillies?
Take a guess. Yeah, it's the same one. It's the same thing. Don't care. Someone needs to be fired.
No, you know what's great about this is now every time Neil's going to see this, he's like, well, good. I'm happy for my friends in Utica, but somebody's got to go.
Somebody's got to go.
Somebody's got to go.
No, the thing is, like, every time, and Scott's going to know this, because every time he's going to see something about the Devils, he's going to tweet at me and be like, did you see this? Yes, I did. I know how someone needs to get fired. I understand. And you guys are going to want me to come on the second that someone gets fired too.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Oh yeah, you guys are like, well, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care. It's like, how do you feel about
emergency show coming up?
How do you feel about Lemieux getting fired? Well, I think someone else needs to be fired. It's like for the next guy.
They fired the wrong one.
They fired the wrong person.
That's what you guys need to do. You need to bring in Vince McMahon for just one day, just so he can just go.
Dude, Vince McMahon is the owner of the Devils. I'd pay to see that.
Oh my god, that'd be
I'd
awesome.
actually pay money for that. Bro, I just no, like at the end of the day, us Devils fans are very impatient because we know how talented we are, and we just don't like seeing this team continuing to be, let's put it this way, bottom feeders, because we've been that way for a long time, and that needs to change. And that's why we're asking for somebody to get fired. Well, actually, asking is saying it nicely. We are demanding that someone gets fired. Literally, the Devils should not post anything on social media until someone gets fired. Because they should know by now that if they post anything, bro, they could literally post a picture of the Utica Comets puppy and someone will say, do not care, please fire Mark Recchi. Or they'll say something like, can that dog coach the power play? Like, literally, that's how it's going to go. Jeez. He's looking up the comments right now. He's looking them up.
Well, it's a good thing it wasn't Mark Recchi's birthday because we got another one to go.
Oh, do you know that Mark Recchi got a tribute on the Flyers big screen last night? It's Mark Recchi we're talking about. Now, I understand what he did with the Flyers, but still, it was like, no, stop praising this guy. He sucks.
Well, no, they loved him last night. Are you kidding me?
Oh, dude, they were loving every second of it. Putting up 6 goals, getting a shorthanded goal. Why not? Yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
It was a pumping.
Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm.
I started watching it, and I was just like, I can't watch the Rangers tonight because I'm going to fall asleep. There's no Comets hockey. I might as well watch the Devils. All right, I guess I'm going to go watch.
Why do you think I went in and go watch the Brooklyn Nets game instead?
Oh.
And at least they won. At least somebody knew how to win.
I started watching the Sabres, but then I just got distracted.
I watched the Rangers game a little bit, and then
I got to tread lightly with these West Coast games, man, because I'll stay up all night. I can't do it.
It was at 9 o'clock. It wasn't a 10.
You get 9 o'clock, dude. Still, I have work at 6 a.m. I mean, that's.
It's not like it's that much better.
I don't get paid enough doing this. I have to have a day job.
Oh boy! Well, speaking of winners, we have another happy birthday, and it's happy birthday to Sergei Fedorov.
Oh yeah,
Hall of Famer turned 52 on Monday. Got a question for you guys. So we all know, what late 80s, early 90s, when the Soviet Union was crumbling and all kinds of Russian players came over. You think he was the best one of that group?
No, I don't.
Of that group?
Yeah, in that particular era.
You mean are you talking about the Russian 5 in Detroit? Is that what we're going for?
No, I'm talking about just like
in general.
Mogilny came over, Pavel Bure came over.
Yeah, I would say honestly, out of all of those guys, it's so tough. But I think it's Alexander Mogilny, and I think it's stupid that he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I think he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree.
And because here's the thing, what people don't understand about Alexander Mogilny is that everywhere he went, he was an impact player. What Lou Lamoriello was so good at during his time in the 90s, early 2000s was whenever the team needed that leader, that goal scorer, that guy who only wanted to score goals, he got him. In 95, he got Stéphane Richer, big-time goal scorer. Mm-hmm. He also had Claude Lemieux. He got Claude Lemieux. Claude Lemieux took the team on his back, and they won the cup. 2000, they got Alexander Mogilny, and Mogilny was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. 2003, they had Jeff Friesen. So that was kind of the point. But the point that I'm looking at is that Alexander Mogilny was consistently good for a long period of time. I know Pavel Bure is, the Russian Rocket. He was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But he was only good with one team. He was only good with Vancouver. Did he really do that well in Florida?
Injuries pretty much derailed his career.
Did he do?
Yeah.
Wasn't he on the Rangers for a little bit too?
Yeah.
Yes.
He played like 30 games for him.
That's not great. Sergei Fedorov is a tremendous player. Do not get me wrong. I think another guy that doesn't get enough credit.
Best out of that group. Ugh.
I think the one guy that doesn't get enough credit is Igor Larionov.
Yeah, the professor. Just like you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
The professor.
He's good.
I wonder if he's got a big bruise too.
For me, it's definitely Alexander McGillney.
Sure he did in his career.
Yeah. Oh boy. All right, fellas. Well, unfortunately, the COVID monster has reared its ugly head again. Games are
in what sport?
Yeah,
all of them.
In what sport? Because it's all of them.
You see Ontario
half
today?
the NBA, half the NBA has COVID.
And Ontario is going back to
50% capacity.
Guys, we're going back to the bubble. I swear to God, they're going to think about it. They're going to talk about it. They're going to think about it. They're going to.
Well, as of right now, the NHL is saying no as far as putting the entire season on a pause and all that. However, the real talk right now is about the Olympics, because the Olympics obviously start in 6 weeks, I think, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And now apparently the Chinese government has said that if you have a positive test while you're over there, you have to quarantine for like 5 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden,
you are an NHL player, right?
Yeah.
And then you got to quarantine over there.
Let's throw this out there. What if it's like Ovechkin that has to sit there for 5 weeks?
Yeah.
Can't do anything.
Yeah.
Bro, that's like, honestly, the players should just be like, I want to go to the Olympics. I really do, but this is not good.
No,
it's just not good.
Honestly, I would be surprised if any of them went at this point, to be perfectly honest with you, as far as the NHL level, because you stand to lose too much, right? I mean, you're going to lose 5 weeks out of your season if you test positive. I mean, you could not have a single symptom and still test, because they're going to be testing every day, of course.
Right.
Well, we just had another COVID outbreak in the NFL. The Washington football team has 18 people on the COVID list as of right now. They just announced it. 18. The thing and granted, it's going to I hate saying this, but it's going to happen. We haven't had a major COVID outbreak in the NHL, but somebody's going to have it. Yeah. It's going to happen.
Right. And Calgary's basically on a pause right now.
Yeah,
Calgary, I think it's the most, like, they have 15 people?
Yeah. They said they're shut down till after Christmas at least.
Bro, you just...
The Devils are heading out where? To Vegas?
No, they're in Jersey.
Vegas is coming here, yeah.
Oh, Vegas
is coming here. So that doesn't make me feel all that great.
Yeah. Well, even as far as as far as the Olympics, I mean, even if you don't play your NHL players, it's kind of like a 4 or 5 country race for the medals anyway. Like, really doesn't matter.
Then you could say that China has a better shot of winning a game.
Yeah, they have a better shot of not getting shut out.
That's true. I mean, look, here's the thing. It's still going to be good. And don't get me wrong. I think a lot of people will still watch it. It's just we all know how much bigger it would be if NHL players were there.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
But I'll tell you something, though.
You guys I wouldn't mind seeing college players come back to it.
Exactly. I got to be honest with you. I am not a huge fan of the NHL being over there anyways.
No.
COVID or not.
Yeah. Give these young kids a chance to shine. I love that.
Right, exactly. And I understand why NHL players would want to do it. I mean, obviously, it's
for a long time it was just amateur players playing. So
exactly. I mean,
unless you're the Soviet Union and you just
but you know what though? That's what made the Miracle on Ice so special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm going to watch that movie the second we get off here because I want to see a good hockey team tonight.
What? No fire Herb Brooks? What are you talking about?
Oh, geez. Herb Brooks, another former Devils coach.
Yeah, now, see, you can have a Miracle on Ice every year now. It's just against Canada instead.
There you go.
Team Canada, if the NHL doesn't play in the Olympics, Team Canada could probably play better than the Yotes. Let's be realistic.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually decide, you know what? Why don't we just take the teams, the players that are in World Juniors, and just have them go over there?
Yeah.
Like, what exactly is the problem with that? Because it's basically the same thing. It's really the same thing.
Right.
And wouldn't that be cool for some of these young kids? They play in the World Juniors, and then it's like, oh, by the way, now you get to go to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's
look at that 16-year-old that made the Canadian team.
Right.
Connor Bedard.
I was like, whoa.
Who the Coyotes have made sure that they are tanking for.
I know, right?
Yeah. Yeah, when they're in Montreal next year or Quebec City.
Yeah, Yeah, because I was going to say, I think the situation's been resolved for now, but they were just about thrown out of their arena for not paying back taxes.
Oh, it was a human error. Yeah, I bet it was.
Human error.
I bet it was. I bet it was.
Oh, my God.
I just saw that Kyle Beach and the Blackhawks reached a settlement today.
Did they?
Really?
Yeah, apparently it's a crap load of money, but I don't know what. They're not giving any details. It's just, they just filed a settlement and that was the end of it. Which, I mean, no amount of money is going to fix what they did. So
No, not at all.
Oh, but God, I hate that so much.
that whole story just threw me for a loop for weeks. It was just
disturbing.
And somebody posted a video where it was so true. They were talking about hockey as a culture problem in general. We just do a lot of things that to a lot of people is normal, but to a lot of non-hockey related fans, they ask us questions like, why is this the case? How many times in the NFL do we know exactly right away what the injury is? But in the NHL, it's either a lower upper body and we have no idea when this person's coming back. I don't know why it's things like that. And it's like the boys club. It's not good. It's really not good.
Yeah. And you know what too? I mean, that's definitely prevalent with the NHL, but I think most pro sports are actually kind of like that behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
It just seems to be more
paging John Gruden.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's but that's what I mean.
And I'm a Raiders fan, and I said that. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm glad that he's going to at least get some money. But you're right. I mean, it
doesn't do it justice.
Nothing will ever fix that situation ever, never.
Nope.
So let's close on this.
Let's finish on a high note, shall we?
Yes, exactly. Because I want to see.
Fired?
Listen, I want to see.
Let me check.
Not yet.
No.
He's got the fire counter on right now. I
saved the word Lindy Ruff fired on my Twitter so that anytime it comes up, I'm the first one to find out.
In the drafts, it's ready to go.
In the drafts, I've been preparing for it.
So there was an article in the New York Post last Thursday.
Oh.
See, I knew this was going to get the reaction. I knew it. About the Rangers.
No.
Possibly getting Patrick Kane. Come on, why not?
I saw this. And you know what? This is classic James Dolan. He hit the it's not a panic button. It's like, oh, you know what? We're so good. We need another star player.
Let's start a story and see what happens and what comes out the back end of it. That's what's going to happen.
I don't doubt. Here's the thing. I don't doubt that the Blackhawks will eventually move on from Patrick Kane. I think it's going to happen, especially if things continue to go the way they're going this year. Even though they have been playing a lot better since they fired Colleton. I will say that. But that's just a classic, New York story rumor that comes out. It's like, it's like, if they get him, great. But, do you understand how much you'd have to give up to just get the guy?
Well, not to mention create the cap space.
Create the cap space, what cap space do you have at this point? You gave a 6-year contract to a fourth liner, which I still don't get. I like Barclay Goodrow. He's a solid player, but not for 6 years. Not for 6 years. That's all. But you're not I don't know. It's who wrote the article? That's who I want to know.
Who did write that article?
I think that was a Larry Brooks article.
Was this the Click King? The Click King, Larry Brooks?
Yeah. I just wanted to see the looks on your guys.
Listen, don't get me wrong. Listen, I love Patrick Kane. His sweater's hanging in my closet. I love Patrick Kane. He's an upstate New York boy, Western New York technically, but I'm a fan. I love Patty Kane. I follow the Blackhawks a lot just because of him, and obviously I love the Rangers. A, how are you going to pay him? B, how are you going to keep? Where are you going to put him? Because it's not like his contract's up at the end of the year. He's got another? I think he's up 20. Good. So that'll be awesome. Can't wait for that. Here's the thing: if they did it, everybody look out because we're gonna blow the doors off everybody, especially if he fits into the locker room.
Who are we losing?
That's the thing. What do you?
What are we losing?
Let's see. Shesterkin, 5 first-round picks. Your firstborn child, probably, which James Dolan would be happy to move on from, probably. Let's see. What else?
The Knicks.
The Knicks. Just take the whole organization.
The Knicks fans would be jumping up and down if they got sold to someone other than Dolan.
Right.
Like, it would be like, oh my God. And if you're a Ranger and a Knicks fan, you got to look at that and be like, well, we get Patrick Kane and Dolan doesn't own the Knicks anymore.
Right.
We're good.
We're fine. This is great. This is great.
Well, the issue I have the most with that article, Scott, in general, and just the theory is one, the Blackhawks can't figure out what they're doing. Are they rebuilding or are they trying to win? Like, what are they doing? I know they had the letter, but then
they don't know now because they don't even have a GM.
Exactly. So, but here's the other thing: if you really wanted to make a move with the Blackhawks, there's other guys that you could move for that would be way cheaper, like significantly cheaper.
I know this might sound weird because Georgiev, I think, is a very solid goaltender, but at least for this year, would it be that necessarily a bad move if they tried to get Fleury as to be the 1-2 with Shesterkin?
I don't think that would be a bad move at all.
Especially if, do we know how long Shesterkin is out for?
They said 3-4 games.
That's what they said.
It wasn't because I remember I watched him get hurt and it looked bad. Like he couldn't put any weight on the injury.
Like he did before.
And he somehow came back. You know what I mean?
Well, he also got in a car accident and was back in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
These Russian players,
that was the one that blew my mind. He got into a car accident like the next day. He's like, "No, I'm playing.
I must get to the rink."
Yeah, this Russian machine never break, man.
Bring me to the rink.
Exactly.
But
then that's another name. There's people keep talking about Tarasenko again. Stop dreaming so big, Rangers fans.
Now than it did in the offseason.
Just
because of how well Tarasenko is.
Yes. Funny how winning fixed that relationship, isn't it?
What if they just redo the trade and they just go get Vukochevich back?
Yeah, what if we just didn't trade Pavel Vukochevich?
Right?
Don't get me wrong, I like Sammy Blais.
Hilarious is that they talk about Sammy Blais and I've heard Rangers fans oh, he sucks. I'm like, but the dude is injured.
I don't know how the guy's not playing, so he
sucks. And yes,
you're doing the whole Urban Meyer comment. Oh yeah, he had a few good minutes when he hasn't played in.
When he was healthy, he was playing great.
He was awesome.
That
now he's out for the season. So
that story blew my mind today. Urban Meyer apparently
kicking his kicker in the leg.
Josh Lambeau in the leg.
Wow.
No.
And I'm like, how does this man wants to get fired?
He doesn't want to.
This man wants to get fired.
He wanted his payday and he wanted to coach and then get fired. That's all he wants.
Yeah, pretty much.
I look at the Rangers, and the Rangers are doing what I was hoping the Devils would be doing right now, and that is the Rangers. I don't care what anyone says. The Rangers never rebuilt that team; they just retooled. That's literally what they did in many ways, because they had several of those pieces already there by the time that they put out that letter to say, "Hey, we're going to suck for a while, but in the long term, we're going to be good." And it didn't take that long. It did not take. And look, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of luck. You get the second overall pick. In 2019, and then you get the number 1 overall pick on some bullshit. But again,
Neil subscribed to the weighted ball.
All of you knew the second that they said that any bubble team has a 12.3% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. We all knew. Yep, it's going to be one of those teams. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, it's going to be the Rangers. It's going to be the Rangers because this is what Gary Bettman wants.
Yeah, we got to know.
And I didn't.
Oh my God!
The ball went up, and I already saw the logo, and I'm like, "Wow, they really." And it's fine because I don't know what. I know Lafreniere's been solid, not great.
He's improving for sure.
Here's the thing: you have a good team anyway, so he doesn't have to come in and be lights out.
The man, he doesn't have to be the man.
Yeah,
and then you got Ryan Reeves, and so you're fine.
Folks, we do apologize for that guy in the comments. I don't know. I blocked him once. It looks like he went to a different account.
Bro, what is going on?
I have no idea, but
it's bots.
Yeah, well, whatever. We do not condone any of that crap, and this guy's a real piece of garbage for doing that.
Had he came to the Rangers, damn, not going to happen. But damn,
yeah.
Well, if you were to somehow make that move, we're in the understanding that we're going for it. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have,
but it's like a 1 year type of thing.
That's what I'm saying. You're with the understanding that we're going for it, and then next year we're gonna somebody's leaving. We don't know who, but somebody.
You're gonna be in the same position that Vegas is gonna be in, where it's like, okay, now we have to move several people because we got cap problems.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So and you got to pay people. You got to pay. What are you going to pay Capo Caco when his contract comes up.
Yeah.
A bridge, and he's going to deal with it. Well, that's what you have. We talked about this last week.
Here's your video. What have you done for us?
Because now you have to pay. For some reason, Ryan Strom's a great hockey player all of a sudden. So now you got to pay.
Why? Because
Doesn't it just piss you guys off that he's getting good all of a sudden?
Yeah.
His contract year.
It makes me so mad that Jeff Gordon literally went. Listen, I've tried to trade Ryan Strome every day this week, and nobody will take him. And now he's just on a freaking rampage. It drives me insane.
This is the time to trade him because, again, it'd be hilarious. I tweeted this one time. I said, wouldn't it be hilarious? The Blackhawks want to move on from Dylan Strome. Wouldn't it be just hilarious if the Rangers just go, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you his brother, and we'll take Dylan.
Do a Strome for Strome.
And it's just change jerseys. They'll wear the same number.
Nobody will ever know. Nobody will ever know.
No, they have the same nose. It works perfectly.
Nobody will know. Nobody will know.
This is all your illusion.
Boy,
this is an illusion.
So much fun. That's awesome.
Dude, this is great.
Listen, sometimes I don't
so
hate the idea of trading. Like, you imagine, we never talked about that, but if they traded Strome in the middle of the season, listen, the Rangers traded Mike Gardner and then won the Stanley Cup. Crazier things have happened.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
that is true.
It's true.
But think about they brought in.
Okay. Yeah, but
we won't get a Mike Gardner haul for Strome. I understand that. He has because it's like I said last week. He has the differential of he plays with Artemi Panarin most of the time. So you're not going to get that most places. You know what I mean? Even if Panarin's not on the ice every shift, he's got that confidence and that swagger from knowing I can do this.
And I'm just saying, with Patrick Kane, he did win an MVP trophy with Panarin on the same line. So
showtime.
It's possible.
I wonder if Panarin's pushing for it. Imagine that.
Oh.
Ooh.
Well, then
I bet he would. I bet he's
you know what?
He just goes up to Drury and says, "Give me Kane."
Yeah, and then Drury goes, "Well, maybe you shouldn't have taken us for $11.8 million a year. We could have." So,
all right. Well, Eric's going to say, "Take a pay cut."
He can't. Yeah. Well, those contracts are locked in with the CBA.
Yeah.
You can't reschedule or rework them like they do in the NFL.
Doesn't Kane have a no move clause?
Yeah,
but those don't.
Yeah, but he can.
I
know, but
he can actually mean nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
because here's why. Eventually, somebody will go up to the player and say, "Look, man, you have no place here. You don't want to play anywhere else. Just do it." And that's what happened with Fleury. He was like, "All right, screw it. I'll just go to Chicago.
Right.
Why not?"
Right.
Got nowhere else to go.
I got nowhere else to go.
Because all the teams that want to trade for me. The funny thing is that the teams that wanted to trade for Fleury were all the teams that he had on his no trade clause, including the Devils. They called 4 times, and every time the Vegas Golden Knights said, "Look, we would trade with you, but Fleury doesn't want to go there." Understand that. It's how many times you got to call before it's yeah, he's not coming.
Yeah, now he's like David Lee Roth. I ain't got nobody.
Yeah. Well, hey, they're like, yeah, we'll ask.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, he's still out.
Oh man.
After the 4th time, it's maybe we shouldn't call again.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, this has been way too much fun, guys. This really has. Neil, you have been busy. You've written another book.
Yes.
So tell us about your books. Tell us where we're going to find you on socials, and of course, tell us about the Devil State of Mind podcast.
Absolutely. So first of all, thank you guys so much for having me on again. I love coming on here. I'll come on here whenever you guys ask, man.
We will be asking again. Don't you worry that.
Oh yeah, I'll be on here when someone gets fired.
Yeah.
Just hit me up when someone gets fired, and then we'll talk about it.
No intro, just yeah.
It's everybody gets fired. But you can follow me on my personal Twitter at THENVPSHOW and on my personal Instagram at NVPQB11. You can follow the Devil State of Mind podcast on Twitter, as you can see down below, at Devil State. On Instagram at Devil State of Mind. Like us on Facebook as well. We have new episodes that come out every Monday and Thursday that talk about this very, very difficult team to watch right now, and that is the New Jersey Devils. And you mentioned the books. Yes, I have written and published 3 books. The first one is JETS, Pain, 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 which talks about the pain and suffering of being a New York Jets fan. The next one is Meet the Mets Mess, the REGRETS of New York Town, which talks about all the regrets of being a New York Mets fan.
Neil, you're a Mets fan?
No. That makes it worse. That makes it worse. Yeah, no, that's that, dude. No, because you know why? He was going to go, yo, we got Scherzer.
No, I was going to say, so you know my pain.
Oh, I do. But here's the thing. I do know your pain.
Oh,
I know your pain a lot because you know why? Because I'm a Phillies fan.
Oh
yeah.
Man, yeah. I really liked you up until about 2 seconds ago.
No, it's all good. It's all good. No, I understand. I don't.
I'm joking.
No, but that's that one. And then I just posted a new one a couple months ago, From Maple Leafs to Maple Laughs. Talks about the pain and heartache of being a Toronto Maple Leafs fan.
Get that in front of Coach Heenan.
Boy.
And all those are available on Amazon for hardcover and ebook. So you guys can check those out.
Absolutely. And with Christmas coming, that's some great gift ideas.
Oh yeah, that's for the Jets, Mets, and Maple Leafs fan in your life. That is the book for you.
Yeah. That's awesome.
The Mets have the highest odds to win the World Series in a year where it may not even happen.
Oh.
Do they have a manager yet? Do they have a manager yet?
It's probably going to be Buck Showalter.
What's wrong with that? It's a great hire.
I love it, but I'm convinced that this franchise is cursed, so it doesn't matter.
Nah, Bobby Valentine's got
the curse. It's the curse of Ed Kranepool.
Yeah,
that's the great. That's the infamous Don LaGreca used to say. That's your forever guy. That's your forever guy, Ed Kranepool.
Oh man,
I want a Rangers Stanley Cup bad. I want a Mets World Series more than you could ever imagine. You'd
be right in the middle of the parade. You'd be streaking down Canyon of Heroes.
I would do unspeakable things that you can't even begin to imagine.
And here comes the GoFundMe page for.
I was just gonna say,
I need it.
Free Dom hashtag.
I need it.
Oh boy. Well, Neil, thank you so much again for being on. And you know what? We already can't wait till the next time you come on.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
This is gonna be great.
Positive or negative.
It's gonna be fun. It's always fun.
Oh man,
it's always fun.
And as always, you can check out Marty's Illegal Stick at the website scrolling below there, www.martysillegalstick.com, where we got new articles up there every day about the Utica College Pioneers, about the Utica Comets, and hockey in general. We're also on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter at Marty's Illegal Stick Hockey Podcast, and we're working on doing an Instagram page too, believe it or not.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We are.
So you can, we are.
You're not supposed to look
have you guys jumped into TikTok yet?
No,
I have my own personal TikTok. I was pretty consistent on it over the summer because I was bored. I got up to like 5,300 followers, and then I kind of gave up, which ain't bad. I mean,
no, it's pretty good. Better than most people.
Save that TikTok for when the Mets win the World Series. That'll be when the TikTok.
Yeah,
I'll stick to doing the podcast and writing articles for the website.
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna stick to.
You meant it
out. So anyways, Neil, thanks again for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. So for Neil Villapiano, for Jeremy the Professor Roberts, and for the Macho Dom Real, I'm Scott Kimball. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week. Who our guest is Jackson Rutowski from
College Pioneers. Jackson Rutowski.
That's right. And if you thought Coach Heenan was interesting, from my understanding, he's gonna be right down the same alley. So got a lot of entertainment coming. Look at Dom. Look at him.
This is my boy.
That's great.
That's great. All right, folks. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week on Marty's Illegal Stick Hockey Podcast. Have a good one.
Boom.